Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, firefighters praise owner's action after dog falls into Merrimack River. Owner called dog to claim spot in river, then called 911, officials say. When a dog slipped down an icy embankment and into the Merrimack River recently, his owner made the right decision by not jumping in after him, fire officials said. Bedford firefighters said the owner instead called the dog, a corgi named Franklin, over to a calm part of the river and called 911. It is difficult to fight the impulse to jump in and try to rescue your loved one whenever they may be 2 or 4 legged. But it's best to call for emergency personnel who are properly trained and equipped to perform a safe rescue without you becoming a victim yourself, firefighters wrote in a Facebook post. Bedford fire crews and police were able to successfully rescue Franklin. Crews are urging anyone caught in a similar station to remember to reach through, row, and don't go. They issued these instructions in a Facebook post. Reach by hand or fishing pole or other objects. Throw a life vest, rope, or an object that floats. Row, move the victim with a boat or call out to a nearby boat. Don't go unless you are properly trained and equipped. Do not go out into the water or onto the ice. And here's a look at the Bedford Fire Department, New Hampshire Facebook post. And here are some photos right here, as you can see. New Hampshire man accused of having loaded gun and carry-on bag at Logan Airport. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Burst out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
A Salem man is accused of trying to bring a loaded gun through a TSA checkpoint at Logan Airport. The checkpoint X-ray found this gun in his carry-on bag yesterday. Massachusetts State Police confiscated the weapon and arrested the man on weapons charges. Remember, even if you have a concealed weapon permit, firearms cannot be carried onto an airplane in a carry-on bag.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Defense experts say Soto unlikely to re-offend. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
More than a decade older than when he helped commit murder, Michael Soto sat as day 2 of his resentencing hearing got underway. Soto was just 17 when he handed a gun to a friend who used it to kill Aaron Carr back in 2007. A defense expert testified that Soto really wouldn't have understood exactly what he was getting into at that age.
They would understand shooting someone as a murder, but they wouldn't think about the attendant actions prior to that as something that would make them culpable for murder.
Soto was sentenced to life in prison after being convicted as an accomplice to murder. That sentence was later overturned as the U.S. Supreme Court ruled automatic life sentences for juveniles unconstitutional. Dr. Robert Joss told the court that Soto had a very dysfunctional life as a child.
Mr. Soto had an early onset of exposure to alcohol beginning at the age of 5.
And that childhood also included being abused. Joss said that Soto also got involved with a gang at the age of 9, but he added that person no longer exists, as Soto has made great strides in prison, including getting his GED.
Based upon the information available to me, including the testing, including his conduct while incarcerated, including my interview data and the other documents that I reviewed, he would appear to be in the group that is less likely to reoffend.
The defense is asking that Soto be sentenced to 15 to 50 years. The prosecution asking for 25 years to life. Again, we could find out later today what that sentence will be, or Judge Larry Smuckler could decide to take the matter under advisement. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. St. Paul's School graduate to return to New Hampshire face sexual assault charges. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Police are commending the survivors who came forward detailing allegations of sexual abuse.
The victims in this case are very brave, and my detectives can attest to that. I certainly can.
Concord police detectives have been working on the case since the survivors approached the school in June 2017. Authorities say the 2 survivors were the children of a St. Paul's school worker.
Oftentimes students live or interact closely with family members or faculty members that are employees or whatnot, so there's a very close group, a lot of interaction there, which allowed this suspect, Mr. Baker, in this instance, to have access to the young children.
Investigators and advocates alike are expressing relief that since Baker moved out of New Hampshire years ago, the clock on the statute of limitations essentially stopped ticking.
The passage of time in no way mitigates the harm done to these victims, and we hope that this is a step towards healing and towards justice.
The allegations of abuse came about a month before the New Hampshire Attorney General's office launched a criminal investigation of the school in July 2017, looking into multiple reports of sexual abuse spanning decades. The AG's office has since settled the matter with St. Paul's, having them hire an independent overseer. Meantime, in this case, the school released a statement saying it will continue to assist law enforcement with their prosecution.
Now, after Baker's arraignment in Virginia tomorrow, police will then have a better idea on when he may be returned here to New Hampshire to answer to those charges. Meantime, if you or someone you know are a survivor of sexual abuse, you can find help and resources by calling the statewide sexual assault hotline.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Roof blown off Cog Railroad display trains coach section. Let's take a listen to that video.
Check this out right here. The winds were so strong in Twin Mountain yesterday, the roof was actually blown off the Cog Railway information booth. See it there on your screen there on the left? Thanks to Keith to sending this photo to our ULocal Facebook group. Yeah, very gusty out there.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Wind topples tower on Sugarloaf Summit. Strong wind toppled a communication tower on the summit at Sugarloaf Monday night, according to mountain officials. The tower is not owned by Sugarloaf, and the summit of the mountain was closed when it happened. The tower is owned by Somerset Telephone Company, which is also known as TDS of Maine. It is used by Franklin County Communications and Homeland Security. Franklin County officials said they have a backup plan in place for situations like this and will meet Tuesday to figure out what to do now. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock markets and see how your U.S. stock markets closed this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market for this Tuesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your NASDAQ closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed flat. Oil closed flat. US 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Stocks closed down for the day after Home Depot missed on earnings. And housing data was bad. Stocks fell in choppy trading Tuesday as investors designated release of weaker than expected Home Depot earnings, mixed economy data, and testimony from the top-ranked Federal Reserve officials. Pressure on Trump at Korean summit is extraordinary, but so is potential for progress. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
I could watch him all the time. Let's go ahead and jump right into the big headline today. President Trump has arrived just a little bit ago in Hanoi, Vietnam for the second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and ABC's Jordan Phelps is right there at the heart of it all, traveling with the president. Jordan, tell us, what are the stakes in this meeting and what can we expect over the next couple of days?
Hey, Lana, the stakes are huge for President Trump. We're going to see a lot of photo ops over the next couple of days. President Trump and Kim Jong-un are set to come face-to-face again for the first time with a dinner tomorrow night with a couple of their closest aides. And then on Thursday, that will be the real big day when they're set to really hash out what we're agreeing to going forward. There is a lot of pressure for President Trump to demonstrate what the United States has gotten out of this diplomatic process with North Korea over the last 8 months. And honestly, Lana, there's not a whole lot to show for it. North Korea has taken no verifiable steps towards denuclearization since that first summit. So this time, the hope is that they'll get something out of it to show that this has been worth it. But ahead of this summit, President Trump uncharacteristically has been tamping down expectations, saying that he's in no rush on this denuclearization thing, and he's just glad there are no rockets going up, no nuclear tests going on. But of course, that is a far cry from denuclearization, which remains the ultimate goal here.
Yeah, and it's interesting on denuclearization.
Okay, and there you go on some of that video. If you want to watch the rest of the video, we will have a link for you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.